Welcome to the session on digital signal processing. Myself Mr. Santosh Lukare, working as assistant professor in the Department of Instrumentation and Control Engineering of Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samajas, Karmavir Baburao Thakre College of Engineering, Nasik 13. Here I am going to discuss partly from the unit number 6, that is design of FIR filters. In this I am going to discuss about an introduction to FIR filters, the linear phase filter characteristic, the symmetric and anti-symmetric impulse response of FIR filter, the design methods for FIR filters, that is Fourier series method, windowing method and frequency sampling method, and last but not the least, the comparison between FIR and IR filters. So the objective of this session is to study the definition of FIR filter, to study the formula for group and phase delay, to have an idea about the symmetric and anti-symmetric impulse response of the given FIR filter. The content of this video lecture is an introduction to FIR filter, its advantages, disadvantages, characteristic of FIR filter, formula for phase and group delay, symmetric and anti-symmetric impulse response, and a typical example. A discrete time or continuous time LTI system are completely characterized by its impulse response. These are the inherent characteristics of the typical system, and this inherent characteristic, nothing but the impulse response, can be used to determine the output of LTI system for the applied input signal. This output can be obtained by the famous mathematical technique, that is convolution integral for continuous time system and convolution sum for discrete time system. So as our discussion is related with discrete time system, for the given discrete time system one can write the output y of n is equal to x of n convolved with h of n, which is equal to summation over the range from minus infinity to plus infinity x of k into h of n minus k. So here we may say that the impulse response of the system, it could be a finite, it could be a infinite, and the input applied to the system is also a finite and infinite, and it can be summable, absolutely summable from minus infinity to plus infinity, and it will give us an idea about the output or the behavior of the system in time domain. And if you consider the same system in frequency domain, they are called as a frequency selective filters, and these digital filters are classified as a FIR filters and IR filters too. We have discussed about IR filters in unit number 5 in more detail. We have discussed about its transformations from analog domain to equivalent digital domain, and we have discussed about the Butterworth and Chebyshev approximations for the design of digital IR filters. Today we are going to discuss about the FIR filters. As the name itself suggests, its impulse response is of finite duration. Means practically we can focus on the limited range or the limited samples from the total impulse response of the system, that is infinite impulse response. Ideally, if we consider every system has its impulse response with infinite length, and we have to focus about the finite length of the impulse response. And if you consider such a thing, then that filters are called as a FIR filters, and these FIR filters are implemented by using non-recursive structures or without feedback, hence they are called as a non-recursive filters, or sometimes they are also called as a all zero filters. Output of such a filters is depend upon the input with present and past values, that is y of n is equal to x of n plus x of n minus 1. So this is the first order system, digital system we may say, or the discrete time system. Here the current output y of n is the function of current input x of n and its previous input value, that is, let us say y of 0 is equal to x of 0 plus x of minus 1. So the input at current instant, that is n is equal to 0, and its previous instant, that is x of minus 1. The advantages of typical FIR filters: they are always stable, that is thermal stability is high, as these filters are of digital type and it does not contain the components like resistor, inductor and capacitor as that of the analog filters. So if these physical components are present, then its performance vary with the temperature, and hence the analog filters are having the thermal instability, but that is not the case with these FIR filters. These filters are having exactly the linear phase response, and there are number of techniques by which we can design such filters like Fourier series method, frequency sampling method, and you may say the windowing method too. The filters can be easily realized with the help of recursive as well as non-recursive structures, which gives us an idea about the requirement of memory element, you may say the multipliers, adders, and the number of delay elements. The excellent design methods are available for the design of FIR filters, called as windowing method, frequency sampling method, as well as the Fourier series method. The disadvantages are these filters are costly if you consider the narrow transition band FIR filter design, because it requires the more arithmetic operations and the hardware components such as multipliers, adders and delay elements. If we increase the order of filter, its memory requirement and the execution time is very high. The characteristics of FIR filters: basically these filters are called as a linear phase filters. Why, that we will discuss. The transfer function of FIR filter is given by the Z transform H of Z is equal to summation over the range from 0 to n minus 1 H of n Z raised to minus n, and its corresponding Fourier transform is given by H of omega is equal to summation over the range 0 to n minus 1 H of n into e raised to minus j omega n, where Z is replaced by e raised to j omega. So if you solve the Z transform on unit circle, it is nothing but the Fourier transform, and as this is the function of frequency omega in radians per second, we can consider the Fourier transform is periodic with the period of 2 pi, and we can write h of omega is equal to h of omega plus 2 pi k, where k is any integer, will range from 0 to infinity. So this Fourier transform is a periodic with the period of 2 pi, and it will repeat its occurrence from 2 pi to 4 pi, 4 pi to 6 pi, like that. Since h of omega is a complex function, it can be expressed as a magnitude and a phase by using this following equation, that is h of omega is equal to mod of h of omega into e raised to j theta of omega. So this is basically the magnitude function, and the phase function, that is mod of h of omega is the magnitude and theta of omega is the phase response of the FIR filter. And here for this FIR filter we can define the phase delay and group delay as the phase delay tau p is equal to minus phase of the transfer function theta of omega, and with respect to the instantaneous value of omega, that is minus theta of omega upon omega, and its group delay tau g is equal to minus derivative of, that is first order derivative of the phase theta of omega with respect to d omega. And it is observed that for this linear phase filter we can define the theta of omega is equal to minus alpha omega over one period of frequency, that is from minus pi to plus pi, where alpha is called as a constant phase delay and it is expressed in number of samples, and it is basically the slope of the phase response with negative sign. and it is obtained that the phase delay is equal to group delay is always equal to the constant alpha for the distortionless FIR filters, and this quantity is obviously an independent of frequency omega. Now let us discuss about the symmetric impulse response. So we have the Fourier transform, which is given by summation over the range 0 to n minus 1 h of n e raised to minus j omega n, and that is equal to plus minus mod of h of omega into e raised to j theta of omega. So this is the polar form of the Fourier transform of the system, and by using Euler's identity one can write the left hand side is equal to summation will range from 0 to capital N minus 1 h of n into cos of omega n minus j sin omega n, and this is equal to the right hand side plus minus mod of h of omega into cos of theta omega plus j sin of theta omega, where the left hand side is the Fourier transform and the right hand side is its corresponding magnitude and phase function uh, in terms of real component and the imaginary component. So here we can take the real component and imaginary component separately from each side, and we can take its ratio, that is summation over the range from 0 to n minus 1 h of n sin of omega n, that is imaginary component, divided by summation n will range from 0 to capital N minus 1 h of n cos of omega n. So this is the left hand side, and that is equal to sin of theta omega upon cos of theta omega is equal to the right hand side. So if we take the ratio of the imaginary component and the real component, one can have that is equal to sin of alpha omega upon cos of alpha omega. So we know that theta of omega is equal to minus alpha omega for the linear phase filter. So this minus sign from right hand side and this minus sign from left hand side, if we take the ratio of imaginary component to the real component, is get absorbed. So here we can take this last equation and we can rearrange and multiply the left hand side and right hand side, and we can equate it to 0 by using summation n will range from 0 to capital N minus 1 h of n sin of omega n into cos of alpha omega minus cos of omega n into sin alpha omega, and that is equal to 0. So the term inside the square bracket, it is a standard trigonometric function, that is sin of sin a minus b, sin of a minus b. So from that we can have an impulse response over the range 0 to capital N minus 1 h of n sin of n minus alpha into omega is equal to 0, where alpha is called as a group delay or the phase delay for the distortionless FIR filter, and this summation will be 0 when this condition is satisfied, that is h of n is equal to h of capital N minus 1 minus small n, and this is true for the linear phase filters with phase delay alpha is equal to capital N minus 1 divided by 2, and this is over the range from 0 to capital N minus 1. So if you consider the typical case of the linear phase FIR filter, basically the symmetrical impulse response, here there are two possible cases. One is when the order of filter is even and when order of filter is odd. So figure A, it gives us an idea about the symmetric impulse response when capital N is equal to odd, and the figure B, it talks about the FIR filter with even order. So if you consider the first figure, it is observed that for small n is equal to 0, h of 0 is equal to h of 9 minus 1 minus 0, that is h of 0 is equal to h of 8. So h of 0 is equal to h of 8. Then h of 1 is equal to h of 9 minus 1 minus 1, that is h of 7. So h of 1 is equal to h of 7. So in this way we can have the symmetric impulse response, and it has a center of symmetry about alpha is equal to n minus 1 divided by 2. So if I consider the odd order filter, that is for capital N is equal to 9, one can have alpha is equal to 9 minus 1 divided by 2, that is equal to 4. So this figure A, it has a center of symmetry about alpha, and that is equal to 4. In the same way, if we consider the even order filter, it also has a center of symmetry, but it is of fractional type. That is, here I may say the center of symmetry will exist at 3.5, that is 3.5. So this is about the symmetrical impulse response for the even order filter and odd order filter. So it is always referred that we have to go with an odd order filter, because it gives us the center of symmetry about an integer, where this is not the case with the even order filter. So next is an antisymmetric filter. Now if we exist, or if it is the requirement of the system, is that if you want to consider only the group delay rather than the phase delay, then one can have this linear phase relationship, that is theta of omega is equal to beta minus alpha omega, where this beta is assumed to be pi by 2. So if this is the case, one can write the Fourier transform summation n will range from 0 to capital N minus 1 h of n into e raised to minus j omega n, which is equal to plus minus mod of h of omega into e raised to j theta of omega, but theta of omega is replaced by beta minus alpha omega. So again, by using Euler's identity, one can solve this in terms of the real component and the imaginary component, and we can have the ratio, and by cross multiplying and rearranging, we can rewrite the Fourier transform, that is summation n will range from 0 to capital N minus 1 h of n into cos omega n into sine of beta minus alpha omega plus sine omega n cos of beta minus alpha omega. So again, this is a standard form, that is summation n will range from 0 to capital N minus 1 h of n sine of beta minus n minus alpha into omega. So this is it. And for the n is equal to 8, it has a center of antisymmetry about small n is equal to 3.5, that is, if I treat capital N is equal to 8, then alpha is equal to 8 minus 1 divided by 2, and that is equal to 3.5, that is 3.5. So this is about the symmetric impulse response and antisymmetric impulse response with typical example. Now let us discuss one example, that is, the following transfer function characterizes the FR filter for the odd order filter, that is capital N is equal to 9, and for this case we have to determine its impulse response, we have to determine its magnitude response, and we have to show that the phase and group delay are also constant. So solution, here we can say that the FR filter is of order 9, that is odd order filter, and hence I can write the transfer function h of z is equal to summation over the range 0 to 8 h of n z raised to minus n. So this is equal to h of 0 plus h of 1 z inverse plus h of 2 z raised to minus 2 plus h of 3 z raised to minus 3 plus h of 7 z raised to minus 7 plus h of 8 into z raised to minus 8. So this is the ninth order filter, and one can write its transfer function h of z is equal to h of 0 to h of 8. And for this ninth order filter, we may have the phase delay, that is called as a center point of your impulse response with respect to time, and you can call it as a alpha, and it is equal to 4. And if this is the center point, the transfer function can be expressed in this center point value, that is h of z is equal to z raised to minus 4. So one can take the z raised to minus 4 common from this rate equation, and this can be written, this rate equation can be written in terms of z raised to minus 4 in common form. So h of z is equal to z raised to minus 4 inside the square bracket h of 0 z raised to plus 4, so plus 4 minus 4, so it will be h of 0. So we get the original term h of 0 from equation in color red, plus h of 1 into z raised to 3 plus h of 2 into z raised to 2 plus h of 7 z raised to minus 3 plus h of 8 z raised to minus 4. So if we multiply that z raised to minus 4 term inside the bracket, we can have the red equation as it is. So for the symmetric filter, one can write h of n is equal to h of capital N minus 1 minus n. So this h of z is equal to z raised to minus 4 inside the square bracket h of 0 times z raised to 4 plus z raised to minus 4. Now why this is so? Because h of 0 is equal to h of 8. So h of 0 is equal to h of 8. So we can take that h of 0 is equal to h of 8. H of 0 is equal to h of 8, and we can take it common as h of 0, and we can rewrite h of z is equal to z raised to minus 4 inside the bracket h of 0 times z raised to 4 plus z raised to minus 4. Similarly, for next term, one can write h of 1 into z raised to 3 plus z raised to minus 3 plus h of 2 z raised to 2 plus z raised to minus 2 plus h of 3 z raised to 1 plus z raised to minus 1 plus h of 4. And its corresponding frequency response can be obtained simply by replacing z is equal to e raised to j omega. So this green equation can be expressed in frequency form, that is h of omega, and this can be separated out as a magnitude and the phase. So the magnitude is equal to mod of h of omega, which is equal to h of 4 plus 2 times summation over the range from 0 to 3 h of n cos of 4 minus n into omega. So this cos of 4 minus n into omega, and this square bracket, it indicates the Fourier transform of the given filter, and it is multiplied by e raised to minus j theta of omega. So in this case, one can say that the linear phase theta of omega is equal to minus 4 of omega, that is with value alpha is equal to 4, or one can find out the phase delay tau t is equal to minus theta of omega with respect to omega, and that is equal to 4. So we can put that minus theta of omega is equal to minus 4 omega. Omega will get cancelled out, and we can have tau p is equal to 4. Similarly, the group delay tau g is equal to minus d by d omega of theta of omega, that is equal to minus of d by d omega of minus 4 into omega. So d omega get cancelled, minus 4 becomes plus 4. So from this, one can say that the phase delay and group delay is a constant for FIR filter. It may be a symmetric filter or anti-symmetric filter. If it is anti-symmetric, then only the phase delay is expected. So if there are any questions, if there are some suggestions from your side, or if there are some critiques, I welcome all those. So thank you for attending this video session, or thank you for listening this patiently. Thank you.